One of the biggest questions that we get asked here at CJ Off-Road is the main differences between the Rubicon Wrangler and the Sahara Wrangler. Today we're here at Susquehanna Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, and they are lucky enough to give us all these brand new vehicles to check out here in their gorgeous studio. So today we're going to be going over the main differences and comparisons between the Rubicon Wrangler as well as the Sahara Wrangler. We've got a gorgeous bright white one here behind us, and we've got a firecracker red Sahara that we're going to be checking out. Going over some main differences on the exterior and the interior as well. We're also going to be talking about which one might be a better buy for you, so you're definitely not going to want to miss this one. We've got a ton of access to brand new Jeeps here, so if you guys have any vehicles you want to see, drop a comment below, because now we are starting to go out a little bit more and check out some of these brand new vehicles. We're going to go ahead and get started with the comparison right now. The Jeep Wrangler Rubicon is one of the most well-equipped factory Jeep Wranglers with some of the best options to make it truly off-road capable. Now, there are a bunch of options on the exterior as well as the drivetrain that really set the Rubicon apart. Right up front here, you can see a bunch of those upgrades, and we're going to start right here with the hood. Right up front, you can see the Power Dome hood as well as the two vents really set that hood apart and give it a nice aggressive look. And moving on to the front, we do have a plastic front bumper on this specific Rubicon. However, you can get them with a Mopar 3-piece steel bumper. That allows you to mount a winch and also gives you a nice durable steel construction. The next thing that is different on the Rubicon model, obviously, are the fender flares. It might take you a little bit to notice that if you're new into the Jeep world. However, these fender flares are raised almost 2 inches to give you added tire clearance. Now, what that means is that this can clear a factory 33-inch tire and give it enough articulation to be able to handle the Rubicon Trail, hence the name of this Jeep. Also, the drivetrain on this Wrangler is a lot different than any other Wrangler on the market. It really is a great option for what you pay for to help you get some of those major upgrades that you still can upgrade in the future. Now, this comes with a Dana M220 axle in the rear and an M210 in the front. Those are basically equivalent to a Dana 44, and they come equipped with 410 gears as well as locking front and rear differentials. Those are the biggest benefits of the Rubicon, is that you do get beefier and stronger axles as well as the locking diffs and already 410 gearing. And now also on the front, you do have an electronic sway bar disconnect to help your front wheels articulate more and really stuff up into these fender flares. Those are some of the main differences on the exterior here. You can also option out the Rubicons pretty much exactly as you could with Sahara. You can get paint matched hardtops, you can get the one-touch roof as we see here, and you can also get paint matched fender flares. LED lighting is also available, as well as all the creature comforts of a Sahara. Just on top of that, you're getting all the off-road capability. We're going to move on to the interior now. While the Rubicon and the Sahara are very similar on the interiors, there are some main differences. Let's hop into that now and check it out. Moving on to the interior of the Rubicon, perhaps the biggest thing that you'll notice is the red stitching. There's red stitching throughout the entire Rubicon's interior, and that red dash pad really makes it stand out and tie into the red accents on the exterior. Now, besides that, you can pretty much load the interiors of these Rubicons up exactly as you could a Sahara, and you can really tech them out and get them super comfortable on the inside for driving on long distances. Now, this one has the one-touch roof, which actually completely retracts just by the touch of a button and comes forward, and is super nice on these, especially if you're not going to be taking that top off, because, well, you can't with the one touch. You can take out the rear glass and the side glass, but that top panel has to stay on. Now, between the Sahara and the Rubicon, the interiors are very similar. Besides the addition of the red stitching, as well as your locker and sway bar disconnect buttons, they are very similar in stature and even in the quality of materials you can offer. Now, with this Rubicon, you can also get it in a cloth material. You can also get it in leather like this and really change it up to match however you want the exterior of your Jeep to look. But moving on to that, we will talk about now some of the main reasons why you might want to consider a Rubicon versus a Sahara and which one is going to be right for you. Now, there are some main reasons why you might want to choose a Rubicon over Sahara, and perhaps the biggest one is the off-road capability. Now, if you're talking about pricing, you can price out a Rubicon a little bit more expensive than a Sahara, but overall they are very similar. I would say that if you're looking for those creature comforts on the inside of the vehicle, as well as all the options you can get on the outside, the Rubicon is a great fit, because not only are you going to get all of those creature comforts and the looks, you're also going to get the off-road capability. I would also argue that the Rubicon down the road has a much higher resale value than the Wrangler Sahara, and if you are in an off-road situation where you really need to get out, maybe you don't take it too much off-road, but you're on a back road and seem to get stuck, you do have all the abilities to go ahead and do that right from the factory. And who knows, you might be just getting into the Jeep world, and instead of buying a Sahara, which you're going to have to re-gear and modify the axles and even add a quick disconnect on the front sway bar, the Rubicon is a great option for you. But up next, we're going to go ahead and pull our Sahara in and check that one out and give it a nice comparison between this Rubicon. Now we pulled this one out here, and this is a firecracker red Sahara 4-door. It is pretty well optioned on the exterior as well as the interior minus the leather seats. This one has the cloth seats on the inside. However, it does have a lot of the other options that come in the Sahara, including the 8.4-inch screen with the navigation, as well as LED headlights and taillights, but it is pretty optioned well. Now, right off the bat, you can see that there are some big differences between the Sahara and the Rubicon, and we're at the front end here, and that's where some of those main differences are. You can see in the hood, you get the exact same hood as in the Sport and the Willys edition, which still has a small bulge reminiscent of the TJ and the YJ Wrangler, but it is nothing like that Rubicon and doesn't have any vents on there. The next thing, you can obviously see the comparison between the Fender Flares on this one and the Rubicon, as you can see just how much lower they are. We're working with completely brand new stock vehicles, so you can see that this one is much lower and still does have that paint match to give you some more nice exterior features. Speaking of the wheels and tires, you can see we do have the Bridgestone Dueler ATs as well as an 18-inch wheel. So it's a little bit more uncommon to have a larger wheel, but the Sahara is more of a, I would say, luxury or on-road model. So you can see that we have definitely some highway tread looking tires and then some nice chrome with some granite silver accents on the inside there, once again in the 18-inch. Obviously not that big. These would I say would be around a 31-inch tire, and they're more of an all-terrain. So moving on to the front bumper, pretty common sight up here. This is just your standard plastic front bumper. With the Sahara though, you do get the accent pieces in there in that light silver. And that also moves over to the front grille where you can see you have the light silver accents both in the headlight surrounds as well as all of your grille surrounds. So that's pretty much reminiscent in the entire vehicle, as they're keeping that light gray coloring, especially on the front end, and you can see a couple accents on the interior to also mimic that. Now behind me, this one is a hard top model. You can get them in the hard top, the soft top, as well as that one touch that we just saw on the Rubicon. So overall, the Sahara and the Rubicon, as far as features you can get on the outside, aesthetics, as you know, considering color match flares, LEDs, you can pretty much get them exactly the same. It's when it comes down to it, it is going to be the drivetrain. This has the standard, just regular transfer case in it, and the Dana M190 rear axle and the M180 front axle. Those are the same that are going to be in the Sport model, and these have 345 gears depending on what engine you get in these. So back when the Sahara first came out, the main option that was neat in that was that full-time transfer case. Basically, it gave you the ability to lock it into 4-high automatic, which meant that if you were in snowy or basically alternate climates where you needed to use that 4-wheel drive on the fly, your Jeep would automatically shift it in. Nowadays in 2021, you can get that as an option on a few other models, so it's not specific to the Sahara anymore. But besides that, we're gonna go check out the interior, show you some differences in that, and then talk about why one of these might be better for you. As far as the interior goes on the Sahara, like I had mentioned before, you can pretty much option one of these out as luxury as you can go. Now, the nice thing on this one, especially in my opinion, is that this one actually has the cloth seats. So you don't see it too much in the Sahara, and obviously these are more prevalent with those leather seats. But when you get the cloth, you actually get this super nice and clean gloss granite dash pad on there. So normally on a Sahara, you would see your leather dash pad because the entire thing has leather inside of it. But with this one, we have the nice granite gloss there, which looks really, really cool. On this, just your basic stitching, you can see we have some silver stitching there, and on the shift bezel as well as your transfer case selector. Overall though guys, very similar on the inside. We have the 8.4 U-Connect, we've got our heated seats and a bunch of other creature comforts. So on the inside of these things, they are not terribly different, and you can actually option them out exactly the way you want, and you can do it pretty much the exact same. The main difference is that you have Sahara embossed on this seat, and you've got Rubicon embossed on the other one. This one also doesn't have that red dash, so obviously a little bit of a difference there, but both very, very similar. Well, that is basically the Sahara Wrangler in a nutshell. There are a bunch of options on this Jeep that really make it a viable pick for someone that is choosing a Jeep Wrangler, and a couple of them that honestly I would sway a little bit towards the Rubicon. Now, I would say if you are looking to buy a Wrangler and plan on keeping it mostly on the street without really planning on making too many modifications, a Sahara is a great choice for you. You can get all the creature comforts on the inside, as well as a truly capable off-road machine on the exterior here, just not at the exact same level of the Rubicon. This is going to be great for someone that maybe wants to throw a small lift kit and wheels and tires on here, right from CJ Pony Parts, and then take it and just keep it on the street a little bit more than on the trail. Not to say that these things can't handle the trail, but you will find a little bit more hiccups when you're going down some of the more, technical trails with a Sahara Wrangler. Overall though, guys, there are some great features in both of these models, and I think you'd be happy with just about any Jeep Wrangler that has come out in this brand new 2021 year. Now, I want to give a huge shout out to Susquehanna Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram for allowing us to come down to their gorgeous studio here. This location is actually where they take all their pictures for their brand new vehicles when they put them on the website, and it gives us a really, really nice area to get some really cool shots of these Jeeps. They're also gracious enough to let us check these out, drive them around, and really just get into them and see exactly what they are and what they have to offer for you guys. Now, like I said in the beginning of this video, if there are any Jeep Wrangler models that you'd like to check out, definitely drop a comment below, because we can call these guys up and pretty much get access to a lot of different things that we don't have here at CJ's. Now, until next time, if you want to check out any parts after you've decided on a Rubicon or Sahara, definitely check out cjponyparts.com, where we have the hookup on all the parts that you'll need to get these things lifted and really your own. Now, make sure you go ahead and like this video and definitely subscribe to our page if you want to keep up to date on all your off-road news and events. Now, I hope you guys are staying safe and staying home, and I'll see you out on the trail.